All right, so developing news is that the Cowboys are considering putting Jalen Tolbert on the trading blocks. Now, this makes perfect sense because we know that Jalen Tolbert got a shelf life, or to this degree, he don't have the highest of the highest ceiling as it relates to a Traeshon Holden or to a degree a Jonathan Mingo. And you got to add into the fact that Kevontae Turpin has increased a lot of snaps, a lot of reps, and doing a whole lot of things for the Cowboys. So I would look at this as a situation and scenario that it will be a smart move for the Cowboys to consider a trade. Now, this is normally a situation and scenario that the Cowboys just don't do. They normally do not trade away their guys. And they normally make a trade for a guy, but they don't trade away their guy. So this is a situation and scenario that we can look back at and say, yeah, that's cool. That's flat out cool. So with that being said, where do you guys stand at with Jalen Tolbert? Because if it's a situation and scenario that the Cowboys trade away Jalen Tolbert, who is a solid number 3, unbelievable resume from last season, right? For stepping up as that role as your 1-2 while CeeDee Lamb gets himself back into football shape. We know CeeDee Lamb was pretty much holding out all of last season during the offseason, and it took him a ramp-up time to get right? Even though he played week 1. And the person that had all of those snaps, all of those reps, and was out there was Jalen Tolbert. Now, the best thing to do, Cowboy Nation, is to look back at some of your guys that performed pretty well last year and see what you can get back in return. We got a log jam at wide receiver. We need help at wide receiver by moving that wide receivers out of the frame so that you can get more and more pieces added elsewhere. When I say help, I mean that we need somebody to help us out and picking up one of these wide receivers so we can get another cornerback, so we can go get another defensive tackle, a veteran guy, by the way. Maybe we do a combination trade piece. Hey, we throw in Mozzie and Jalen Tolbert for X, Y, and Z player. That's how you move and groove. And if the Cowboys do that, first and foremost, this would be a situation of growth from the Cowboys because normally they do not trade away their guys. And if they do, normally they trade them away for dog food, right? So this would be a situation and scenario that I would love to see, Cowboy Nation. Granted, there was a conversation earlier today on the aspect, and shout out to 105.3 The Fan. I think that they do a marvelous job at all what they do. And basically, they were saying that even with the notion of bringing in a Stephon Gilmore, that there could be some resistance. And we know we need help at DB. And when I'm talking about DB, hear me out, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening. Normally, the quickest way to get the results is to make the trade acquisition. Trying to lift up stones and rocks to see what's up under there, you rarely get that. But let me see if I can play this audio so you guys can understand.
They're just one starter away from having a really bad problem.
One injury or one starter? One injury? Or...
Yeah, like one star. Like if a starter gets hurt, they got bad problems.
Oh no, I think they got bad problems as we speak.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's cornerback position
well,
now.
Especially at the nickel, they've got to figure out the nickel. I mean, that is a must, right? That is a glaring problem to me right now.
Oh yeah. So my question to you, Broadus, is I know you say they don't want Gilmore because he can't run, but there's guys like Asante Samuel.
We don't know his health, though, man. Mm-hmm. We don't know his health. That's the problem. And I would go after him in a heartbeat. I've talked about him a month ago, but we don't know his health. And that if you tell me he's healthy, there's going to be teams lining up for this guy. And are you willing to go and pay what you have to pay to probably get him? So, yeah, I'm all on board with adding a corner like that. I'm just telling you, Gilmore, they tell me they like the guy can't run. Now, why?
Regardless, if he can't run, even Stephon Gilmore with the inability to not run, right? He can't run. I'm taking him over Andre Booth. I'm just telling y'all the truth. And that all rhymes for your mind. I give it what Brian Brothers is saying. Hey, bring him in for a cup of coffee, work him out, and let's see. And that's the price of doing business. When you are a veteran in this game, you're going to need to, alleviate some things, right? To help out on the aspect of you bring me into the building, my knowledge come into the building, right? My wisdom come into the building. My understanding of the game to help elevate everyone else come into the building. Now, I get it. He's old. He may not can run, but I would rather see him out there opposed to the guys that we seen week 1 in preseason and a few, especially during his training camp and off season. Bring him in.
Watch him sign him next week because he's available.
Sure.
But Santi Samuel, yes, bring him in. Is he healthy? I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah, health is the question. And there's a reason all these guys are available, right? There's going to be some issue like Rasul Douglas, another corner. He was talking with a couple of other teams as recently as a week ago. Maybe that's a guy that they could target. Gilmore, I've preached as well because there's some continuity there. I liked Gilmore more than maybe some others do. I have questions that the Cowboys would be super interested in Stephon Gilmore, but things can change. I wondered once they get into live game reps and you see these preseason games and you realize, man, can we line up against the Eagles week 1 and really be trotting X, Y, Z, name the player in there? Yeah. To me, the answer is no. So you've got to find somebody else that you would trust to line up and might be better for you.
This is the problem. And without Micah Parsons in the lineup right now, you're probably not going to have the pass rush you need to protect your defense.
No doubt. So that is a realism type of deal there. You need pass rush. Some can argue pass rushers help DBs, right? Or cover DBs, good DBs that can cover help pass rushes because they're really such a thing called coverage sack, right? But pay Parsons, of course, that's always been on the table. But also keep in mind, go grab your veteran DB. Let's stop playing around. Shout out to Christian Matthews, but let's stop playing around with guys that you just trying to find off the streets, driving Ubers and babysitting. You get what I'm saying, Cowboy Nation. Let's go and get something that we know, a known versus the unknown. All right, Cowboy Nation, that will be the best way. But just to put this out there, Jalen Tolbert is trending because it's rumored that they shopping him. Somebody need to buy them tickets. Come on, JT. Come on, somebody need to buy them JT tickets. And there's no shade at JT. Can we throw in Jalen too? The other Jalen Brooks. Jalen and Jalen both traded to the XYZ team. That'd be crazy, right? And of course, somebody going to still say, hey, what about Mozzie as a consolation prize? Hey, to each his own, Cowboy Nation. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it. Salute. Peace.